Language in Children Part 2. Now, if you might be able to see a black pop on the upwards part of the screen, that is the part 1 of this video, and I would recommend you to watch that to get an idea of the introduction of language in children, because we discussed about there are 4 topics in this topic of language in children. We discussed about the introduction and the 2 topics in the last video, the part 1, which you might be able to see in that black pop-up. And in this video, we'll be discussing the remaining 2 topics. So it's better you watch that video first and then watch this. Now let's see the remaining part, which is syntax and pragmatics. Now, syntax between the ages of 18 to 24 months. Now, as I told you in the last video, you have to remember the ages because it's important. At what age, what happens? Between the ages of 18 to 24 months, often children begin to combine words. So when often children begin to combine words, they do it at the age of 18 to 24 months. A topic of interest for psychologists has always been the development of syntax, that is, rules of grammar among children. So you have to remember this as well. So what is the topic of interest for psychologists? It was always been the development of syntax. Now what is syntax? It makes clear what is syntax. It is the rules of grammar among the children. By the end of the second birthday, children start combining 2 words to convey their message. Second birthday means we can say 2 years old. For example, mummy apple may refer to mummy I want an apple, right? This kind of speech are known as telegraphic speech. Now, this kind of speech, mummy apple kind, they give you an example. It is known as telegraphic speech. In this kind of speech, words serving grammatical functions are omitted. Now, such as mummy apple. Now, these are 2 things which it mentioned. But I want an. These 3 words between mummy and apple kind of serve as grammatical functions, so they are omitted. So in this type of telegraphic speech they are talking about, in this kind of speech which is telegraphic speech, this grammatical functions such as I want 10 in between mummy and apple, it is omitted and just mummy apple is said, and the message is expressed only using 2 or 3 words. As you saw in mummy I want an apple, it just uses 2 words, which is mummy and apple. Further, during the age between 1 and 2 years, children talk to themselves loudly when they are alone. This kind of speech is known as script speech. Now, you know what is telegraphic speech. What is script speech? At the age of between 1 to 2 years, 1 and 2 years, the children talk to themselves loudly when they are alone. So that is known as script speech. And what is known as telegraphic speech, we just saw. It is produced by children to refine their linguistic skills. So script speech, it is produced by children to refine their linguistic skills. Now let's see the last topic, which is pragmatics. Pragmatics refer to social rules of language. What is pragmatics? Pragmatics refer to social rules of language. As language is a social tool of interaction, it has some underlying rules, which underlying rules such as how to behave as a listener, what one should say in particular situation, and how to coordinate in a conversation are some examples of pragmatics. So you can say that pragmatics is like a kind of manners, while what to say, how to behave when someone is saying something, how to behave as a listener, it's like manners, when you say something, how do you say, how do you listen to a person, and how do you react in a particular situation. Studies have suggested that in comparison to adults, children take more time in turn taking because of their inability to recognize the completion of a remark. With maturity, children learn to use the phrase and then to signal their listeners that they wish to continue their speech. Now, with maturity, this is also you have to remember. Now, with maturity, what children do? They use the phrase and then to signal the listeners which are listening to them that they wish to continue their speech. Children also learn to adapt their language according to the listener. That is, if the listener of a 6-year-old child is his peer, then the language used by him would be different from the language used for a 2-year-old listener. So, what it is trying to say, let's read it again. Children also learn to adapt their language according to the listener. So children also learn to adapt their language according to the listener. So so it makes clear what is it, and then it gives you example. So what is it? This point is saying is that children they learn to adapt their language according to the listener, like what kind of listener they have, what kind of person is listening to them. They adapt their language in such a way. If the that is if the listener of a 6-year-old child is his peer, then the language used by him will be different. Then if a listener to that 6-year-old will be a 2-year-old, then he will use a different language, and if it is a peer, then he will use a different language. And that is it for this video. I hope you like the video. I'll give you some time to take the screenshot and then we will talk remaining. Now tomorrow, as you know, I am uploading videos every day. So for the next 30 days, we are still in this challenge. I actually forgot which day is going on, but I do know that we haven't been met with the mark of 30 days. Tomorrow I'll tell you which day we are on, and I would recommend you to like the video as well if you love the video. And also, as I always recommend, because I am uploading videos tomorrow, for you to not miss it, please subscribe to the channel and on the bell icon so you don't miss out the video I'll be uploading tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Until then, if you want to leave a like, you can leave a like.